Hey guys, welcome to Titan Talk. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and we wanted to just say, hey,
Yeah. Turkey Talk. Gobble,
uh,
gobble.
Turkey Talk. It's just going to be a little check in, guys, and just say thank you for everyone who worked on Thanksgiving and did a great job out there, making sure that yesterday went as smooth as it did. So we appreciate it, and we just thanks, guys, for everything you guys did. So
Yeah, we apologize. Well, I apologize for having to do a little early today. I've got some obligations outside of work that are going to take up most of my afternoon. So I wanted to make sure we got at least the podcast in rather than record it and not be able to interact. So hopefully some of you guys are subscribed. So you get the little prompt that says, "Hey, your two lieutenants are blabbering on the internet." So with that being said, like he said, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody that worked the afternoon or during kind of Thanksgiving time got a nice meal from Coop. He does his yearly Thanksgiving dinner drop off. I believe Corporal Patton was the gopher for that. So
Hayden was as well. He
Hayden,
helped out. They both
nice.
did it.
So you should have seen a patrol officer with a nice warm meal as just kind of a show of respect and appreciation for you working so that other people don't have to. I had a brother or soon to be brother in law was a little upset about having to work. And I said, hey, you do it so other people don't have to. Hopefully next year you can work around it. I've had to work it a couple of times. So I understand. That's why during our meal, we always say a prayer before our meal and we always make sure to say thanks to everybody working, the street, working at hospitals, overseas that are doing that so we can eat peacefully with our families. So thank you to everybody that puts in hard work on those holidays. And usually there's the nice perk of holiday pay. So
Yeah.
makes it a little more of an incentive to do so.
So Diego, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys who did work, and that's one of the things we were just talking about. Is that Thanksgiving dinner is something that I started, I think, 4 or 5 years ago now, and it was kind of like my thank you to everybody who was working, who get has to miss it and can't be with their family on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And so I was like, hey, you know what? This is let's do something nice for the crew that's out there that doesn't get to go home or that has to miss it and stuff like that. So, excuse me, I put it in for the bosses, and they said, you know what, let's try it out, let's do it. And it was probably one of the best decisions I think that we made and that we could do for you guys out there is to get you guys that food because you're missing it with your families and you're with your Titan family for the lack of a better way of saying it. And that's
Yeah,
how we feel.
sure.
So might as well give everybody some dinner while they're doing it.
Break bread with everybody at
Exactly.
Titan. So, but other than that, hopefully everybody that was at home had a good, safe Thanksgiving. They didn't try to deep fry turkey without knowing the proper method and
We were
burn their
we
house down.
we were talking about that before, and my the where I went and spent my Thanksgiving, and we were talking about it. And they're like, "Oh, we were going to deep fry it this year," and I looked at him. And my first thought was, "Do you even know how to deep fry it?" And he goes, "No," and I was like, "I'm really glad you didn't, because I would hate to have to call fire department for that stuff."
Yep, I think we're going to deep fry it next year. And honestly, my family, there's a few people in the family that I don't mind turkey. I'm not like that's the most important thing I'm looking forward to. Um, that's what I said last time we were going to bring some food in. I decided you don't want to see us listen to us eat. So I'd like to just ask everybody that watches it, put in the comments what your favorite dish, whether it's the main course of the bird or what it is. Mine is probably corn casserole or the mac and cheese. Like I said last time, it's my favorite. I usually steal the most of those leftovers that I can and leave the turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and all that stuff for everybody else that enjoys it more.
So I think that my favorite, I have two, and one of them, there's two different versions of each one. You have stuffing, uh,
And the dressing.
and the
Yeah.
dressing, and it's the same thing, but stuffing is what was in the bird, and then the dressing is the additional that you didn't put in the bird but you cook. And then there's cranberry sauce. There's cranberry sauce and cranberry jelly, and I like all four of them, but I prefer the stuffing and I prefer cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Now,
My mom makes homemade cranberry sauce. It was actually pretty good.
I love cranberry sauce, and the big thing that I always run into with people that was like, "Oh, I love the cranberry sauce," and they'll bring the canned, and I was like, "No, that's cranberry jelly. It's still good. Don't get me wrong, it's still good, but
Do
it's
you
not
put it
cranberry
do
sauce."
you put it on the stuffing?
The sauce, yes, not the jelly.
Mine pretty much just is a big pile of food that kinda everything touches each other. I've got some family members, none of them were at this Thanksgiving, but in the past, the distant family or extended family, where they have, like, sections on their plate.
Yeah.
Mine's just all slopping on there, and it's all going to the same
Well,
place.
see, that's the
so.
funny thing. I do the same thing. Like I'll catty corner everything, and I'm like so bad about it. Like I'll actually like line it out to where it like looks like a piece of pie.
Yeah.
And then it's just this section is my mashed potatoes, this section is that, and that, and
It
then when I get
starts
to the
that way,
table,
but
yeah. So when I get to the table, it's just like, all right, but mix it all together and
I
eat it.
usually will hand because we all sit obviously, and so
You
some
mean you
people
don't stand?
some people buffet style, like they go in the kitchen and slop it on, and what I'll do is I'll just say, hey, just drag it through the garden, put a little bit of everything on there, and if I don't like it, I just won't eat it, And so what ends up happening is like my sweet potato casserole gets gravy on it, and I was like, well, it actually tastes pretty good. You start to find some new combos that you probably wouldn't have thought.
Probably wouldn't have done
Yeah.
before.
Well, and I think it's the first year I've ever eaten the cranberry or the cranberry sauce because my mom was making it homemade with real cranberries and made like a jam out of it on the stove. And I was like, she put a lot of effort into that. I'm gonna give it a whirl. And on the turkey, it's fantastic. It was really good. So I'm a sweet and savory kind of guy. I like sweet and savory. I found that out when I started eating Chicago style popcorn. Is the cheddar and the caramel or caramel, whichever way you say it.
Caramel.
It's caramel.
Caramel. Whatever.
Yep,
All right.
caramel. So yeah, the cheddar and caramel popcorn. If you've never tried it, it's fantastic. It is like a drug because you look down, the bag's gone, and you're just like, oh, I don't feel so good. But it was delicious.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
Yeah, it's got crusty caramel cheddar fingers, and you're just like watching Cops or something. Like, what am I doing in my life? But definitely try it. It's pretty good.
So we got 400 Kittens says candied apples. And I'm with you on that one. That's pretty good
Not
too.
a tradition
That's
my
more
family has, but I would do it.
It's more of a dessert thing for me.
Yeah. Well, and that's fair too. Like I said, if your favorite's pumpkin pie,
Okay, no, here's the question. And I'm half tempted to make a. You know what? We're gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna post a question with
yes or no,
a poll.
Okay.
No, a poll, and it's gonna be what type of pie is the best between the two options of pumpkin and cherry. Which
I think
one's the
apple
best?
should be up there.
You think so?
Dude, people eat apple pie with chunks of cheddar cheese.
Okay, all right.
I've seen
So
it.
I'm gonna put
Never
a
done it
poll up.
myself. Can you do more than one?
I can.
I would just do cherry, apple. I feel like coconut pie or banana
Apple.
I don't know. Does anybody in their family do the fruit salad where it's like marshmallowy grapes
And we'll do because that's
oranges, I think. It's really good. I'm actually craving some. I'm so full from yesterday.
How are you craving that?
Because I didn't have any yesterday.
All right, so the poll is up. Tell me what you guys think.
But yeah, I don't want to see any turkey or stuffing or anything for another 365 days.
You know, it's funny, and that's the best. I think the best part about a Thanksgiving that you get is you get that leftovers, and so I think I left with 1.5 pounds of ham, a pound of turkey. I left with a full 2 pounds of stuffing.
Yeah,
not dressing, stuffing.
Right. I'm not doing, or we didn't do ham this year. So next year, we're gonna do like maybe a couple turkey breasts and then do ham because my family, we realize we buy like an 18-pound bird and we throw most of it away, unfortunately, which I hate to admit that.
To me.
Yeah, I will. I will. This year we actually had more people, so it actually worked out. I mean, I got a good cash cow of leftovers to take back to my wife and I's place.
Oh, dude, I came home with like 3.5 pounds, 4 pounds of food.
I have like half a thing of mac and cheese.
Actually, I think it's more than that. But
a bunch of corn casserole and a couple of slices of turkey for some turkey sandwiches. Because I'm sure by 6 o'clock tonight, we just had Casey's Pizza, by the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely
delicious. I needed something different.
Phenomenal.
I needed something different than Thanksgiving food. I stopped on the way in, grabbed the couple guys who at the office summons, so it was really good. And then tonight I'll be craving it again. So like I said, we're going out of town, but I'll be taking some of the leftovers with me.
Oh, absolutely. So. And then 400 Kittens also says the homemade mac and cheese is the best.
Can't go wrong with it.
Gary is flexing on us right now. He said his fried turkey was phenomenal. Rub it in. Devin, I'm a little upset at you. He said, I'm not a big fan of pie.
Neither I'm not either.
But there is, so there's like pumpkin pie. It's a classic. Pumpkin and pecan.
Pecan sandies.
I should have put pecan.
Pecan pie.
Anyway, we're gonna get arguing about that. We're not gonna do that. But pecan. I should have put pecan pie in there. Damn. Oh well. But yeah. Now. So, and then Devin.
And then there's sweet potato pie. I think people make that.
That's not a pie though. That's a dish. That's a side dish. No, it's not.
Oh,
it's a side dish.
We have the sweet potato casserole.
Sweet potatoes are good too.
Yeah. Yeah, but I only eat them around Thanksgiving. I know people
no.
that are like
Sweet-
avid sweet potato
all the
fans
time.
and stuff.
It's
Like
the
if they have
best.
the
It's the
options,
best starch you can have.
ugh,
It's the best starch you can have.
it's regular French fries. Probably.
Devin, I'm glad you brought that up. I showed up early. I was here Thanksgiving morning. I had some to set up for the Thanksgiving dinner for everybody who was working and all of that. And I had arranged for Devin to show up to return his rental.
Oh,
And the parking lot was barren. Wasn't a car in sight except for the Titan vehicles parked on the far side. Not a car in sight on the rest of the parking lot. And he decides to park his like 3/4 of the way back in the parking lot and run. I was like, what do you do? Don't do that. Park up close. So
Hey, exercise. Can't hate him for it, especially if he had a bunch of turkey. Needs to walk it off.
all right, so let's see here. We've got an outstanding pumpkin pie. Nobody put fruit salad. So we got
Is that one of them?
cherry pie, apple, pumpkin, and fruit salad.
I love fruit salad.
And we've got everybody 50% say pumpkin, and then we got 25-25 on cherry and apple. So
I'm not a huge cherry pie fan. Again, I should preface with I'm not a big pie fan.
yeah,
I don't think I had any yesterday, if I remember.
I had a piece of pumpkin. That was all I had. Which I was upset because where I go for Thanksgiving, they know I love pecans, so I was expecting a pecan pie.
Is that what pecan pie?
They didn't give me a pecan pie,
It's weird.
and so I was a little upset about that because I would have taken leftovers home. That would have been my pie for a week.
I don't remember the last time I had a pecan pie.
Pecan.
Pecan.
Oh God, he's gonna do this forever now.
Last time we debated about that on air was like, well, we debated about that a couple weeks ago. And
we did.
We got downstairs. I think it was downstairs in the patrol room, and there was literally like a Little Debbie pecan sandy, like pecan sandies. And I was like, what in the world? I've never seen it before in my life. It's like somebody snuck it in there. I was like, what the hell is going on? It's like weird. It's like you start talking about something. I was telling him what I want. One of the things I want for Christmas, and it's just we do a white elephant with my family, and I've talked about it out loud in front of my phone. So I guarantee you, the next time I scroll Facebook,
it's gonna pop up.
There'll be a bunch of party. I want one of those big party speakers for my pool. We've got old speakers that are hooked up to the pool area, like the fake rock ones, but I can't hook up Bluetooth because it's so old. It's like CDs or radio, and so I want like a little one.
They make
the built-in.
adapters.
Yeah, that's too tech savvy for me. Next time you come over, I'll have you look at it.
Okay.
But plus they're loud, but I want some more bass. So I want like a buddy of mine
All
brought
about
it.
that bass.
Yeah. Now it's supposed to be stuck in my head all day. I hate you. But I like my buddy we had a pool party, and one of my buddies brought over his speaker because he didn't know I had a sound system hooked up, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice. Let's try that." Bluetooth, and it's super loud, and it's got super good bass. And so he told me he got it from like Costco or something. So I was requesting that, but it's funny. It was like the pecan sandies. They heard us talking about it, and the universe put them in front of us.
That's funny.
Yeah, I literally had never seen that before, and we were just talking about it on air 20 minutes prior to going down there. So
that's actually really funny.
Yeah. What else?
Let's see. Other than that, let's see. Diego says he likes the pumpkin rolls more than pie. I don't know what that is. Pumpkin roll.
Is that the ones with like the cream cheese in the middle? It's like a swirl.
Diego, you're gonna have to tell me what that is because I don't know what that is, man. Let's see. Other than that, Thanksgiving, there's not really a whole lot. I mean, once you have the food and everything, I don't really have a lot of Thanksgiving or holiday traditions. They weren't a huge thing in my family. But where I go for Thanksgiving now, the family I go to, and they like playing Cards Against Humanity.
It's a good time. We used to play football, and I'm fat and out of shape. So we're not young, and if I get injured, my boss will be mad. So.
Diego says yes. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think I've seen those before, like Hy-Vee or whatever.
Never seen them. Don't know what they are. Is that like those little Debbie roll things?
Yeah, they're like little swirls.
Like the one with like strawberry and stuff in it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of what. Yeah.
Well, just like that.
Swirl. It looks like from the side, it looks like a cinnamon roll, but it's long.
Yeah.
And it's
okay. Okay. They make those in pumpkin.
Yeah, it's pumpkin.
Okay, I'll take that. That's awesome.
I don't think I've ever had one, but I've seen them before. So.
But back to my story.
Yes.
So we were talking. We were playing Cards Against Humanity, and one of those really, really like those cards that I'm not going to say it because it's with the card itself. I can say the card itself because it's not bad, but it was who was reading it, which made it so good.
Yes, exactly.
And it was what is this? What is the card reader's biggest secret? Oh yeah. Yikes. And we had some really good ones.
Yeah,
and
I've come up with some good one-liners just from that game.
And so I was looking at my hand, and I had the perfect card. and I handed her the card, and I looked at her as she took it from my hand. And I said, "You're gonna know which one is me. I need you to do me a favor." She goes, "What?" I go, "Don't judge me." And I let her take the card, and she's reading the answers, and she said mine. She stopped what she was doing. She looked at me and she goes, "Really?" And I said, "I told you not to judge me."
Yeah, that's a really fun game to play with. I wouldn't probably play with I don't think I've ever played with well, maybe I played with my family.
It's
And
fun.
we don't hold anything back anyway, but I played with my in-laws one time. And I was like, you know what? Because I talked to Sinead going
Yeah.
into it. I was like, I'm not gonna hold back.
No, no, you got to go all in.
And there was definitely some blushing going on, and I was just they're like, oh, okay. But I also saw that I saw that they're not afraid to play the game as well. So
Yeah.
there was some
didn't
weird stuff.
they
Yeah.
didn't give you any no quarter given there.
No. Afterwards, we had a tighter bond after we played the game.
I find that I find there's two games that you either walk away where you don't like your family anymore and you never want to hang out with them again, or you come out with the best bond on the planet. Monopoly,
Yep.
and Cards Against Humanity. If you can walk away from playing Monopoly with your family and still talk to them at the end, that was a good game.
We went on a Monopoly stint there for a while.
We don't play Monopoly anymore. I'm not allowed to play Monopoly with them anymore.
After 6 hours.
I'm not vindictive. I don't.
You hold grudges?
Yeah, in the game, I hold a grudge in the game.
Absolutely, and I do side deals all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, let me get the Fourth Railroad, and I'll never charge you rent when you land. And they're like, wait, what? You can't do that. I'm like, yeah, I can.
And
pull some Donald Trump moves.
There was one I had the entire side. I got the entire. I think it was the bottom side, where I think it's the green and the red.
Yeah, it's a good corner to get.
Don't quote me on that one, guys, because I don't know.
It's like the third corner.
Spiteful, Gary. Perfect, spiteful.
Yes.
And
I'm petty.
Petty. There you go.
I'm very petty.
But I had the whole bottom half or the whole bottom section there,
and a gauntlet of death.
I was missing one. Well, the person to my left had it, and I made him a deal. I said, "Hey, if you land on anything on this side because it's the more expensive, I'll never charge you.
Yep.
But you got to give me that, and then I'll give you this one because it'll finish off one of the railroads.
A little give and take, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like,
Dude,
okay, sure.
Those railroads are they're sleepers.
They'll kill
if you have.
Oh
them,
yeah,
because you get all four. It's like $200.
Yeah,
and it's you very low investment. They're like what 25 or 75.
They're 50 a piece.
Yeah.
But so I had that whole section, and everybody wound up landing on the very first three out of that entire thing the rest of the game. And so I wiped them all out. And they were like, you can't. They got together and like, okay, we are not selling him anything else. It's already.
Yeah, they're always cool with the deals.
You can't do that.
Like, they allow the deals to happen until they start seeing how much it screws them over.
And they're like, whoa.
I'm gonna rethink my
we can't help him again. And I was like, that's not fair. You can't agree to do it and then not do it.
Yeah, we used to play Clue. That was a good one. But yeah, those two. It's another one you can get some upset opponents because the movie I think came out before the game did, or I don't know. It's an old movie with Tim Curry.
Tim Curry.
It's hilarious. Love it. It's that was a movie we watched growing up, and there's in the game you try to figure out who killed who with what in which room of the mansion. So it's like it would be like, let's say you're one of the characters would be Josh Cooper.
Oh, was that Clue?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not
didn't know that.
good at it, but it's always fun to play. Yeah,
that's
it's like so and so in the billiard room with the lead pipe killed the maid or whatever.
That kind of reminds me of. So I play airsoft, generally once a week. It's been a little bit since I played, but that kind of reminds me of a game. It's called TTT. It's fun. I remember, but it's a terrorist game.
Yeah.
So there's if you've got like 10 people, there's 2 terrorists, and the terrorists have to kill everybody without getting caught, and whatever the case. That kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah,
because you've got the sheriff or the good, the one guy who everybody knows is innocent, everybody else is in question, and he can go around and he can be like, hey. He finds someone who's been killed and be like, "Hey, are you innocent or terrorist?" Oh, I was innocent. All right, well, somebody killed an innocent. We got to figure out who it was.
Sure. What's that game? Among Us.
Among Us.
Little kid.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Yeah, where they run around.
Yeah,
that's kind of like Clue. I used to play with my cousins, and we'd play because they live up north a couple hours, and that's where I learned the hip word sus.
Sus.
Like that dude's pretty sus. I was like, what the hell?
What is that?
The suspect. I was like, oh,
just call him a suspect.
Yeah, well, it's too many syllables. Sus.
Gary says it's not a true game of Monopoly unless someone flips the board and stomps off cussing.
Right. I think
you're not wrong.
Dane Cook is like, screw this, Grandma. I'm going home. I see you slipping hundreds over there. You've been the banker this whole time. My wife's always a banker because she's good with numbers. But yeah, I actually, and I'm not even. I mean, it's a game.
It's for suspicious.
Suspicious.
That makes a little bit more sense.
Suspect.
That's what I would have thought.
Kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
that's pretty suspect.
That's pretty suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's just one of those new lingo terms that I'm not good with.
What's that Black Eyed Peas song?
No idea.
First of all, oh shit.
You're not going to get me with. I have no
No,
idea.
I was gonna get stuck in your head. I was gonna, yeah. You know, if you heard it, you would know.
I guarantee you, I've
Yeah.
heard it, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Something Fergalicious.
No idea.
Yep.
I'd have to hear the music.
I
We're
don't
not going to
know.
play it.
No, that's the one that gets stuck in your head. Now that one's stuck in my head. I did to myself.
I have another one.
So
stuck in my head.
suspicious is what I think the lyrics. That's like an old early 2000s one.
Okay, I probably
I don't know
know.
any Black Eyed Peas song that's good, but I've heard that one. It's on the radio a lot. So I don't listen to the radio. I listen to talk radio. I'm becoming an old man.
What do you
Yell
mean
at people to get
becoming?
off my yard. True. I fully
You've been an old man
transformed.
as long as I've known you.
I fully transformed. I
He's
hate
one of those
going
guys.
out in public.
He's
I
one of
like
those guys that will yell at you if you're on his lawn. Get off
Yeah.
my lawn.
Yeah,
You know how much it takes to keep care of this lawn. Get off my
lot.
lawn.
a lot of hours on that mower.
But other than that, I mean, it's just basic stuff that we wanted to check in with you guys, make sure everybody was good, had a good Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Getting closer to getting jackets out to you. Oh wait, we're not supposed to talk about work. It happens. I'm at the office.
Ruin it.
Yep, jackets are coming out soon.
Yeah,
So I
we're
appreciate you
getting
guys.
those. Those are finishing up. We should have those soon, guys. So for those of you who don't have any, we are getting them. We will, as soon as they are done, we will start getting updates to everybody. So
And I also believe it's open enrollment right now. So,
yes,
and it's a
for
new
the next
provider.
4 days.
Yeah, that's it. We have
If
a new
you-
provider.
If you have health insurance, re-sign up. If you
Yeah.
don't have health insurance, sign up.
Yes,
Well,
I would
you don't have
suggest
to, but-
it's a much more aggressive package as far as helping us, the
Yes.
person that's being insured. I know Kyle. I got to give kudos to him, and credit where credit's due. He worked really, really hard the last pretty much all year. That was one of his, I think, his goals was to get a really good benefits package. Our old one wasn't horrible, but it wasn't.
It was expensive.
Yeah, it was expensive.
It was very
and
expensive.
It was it was not competitive with equal like other places that are similar in what we do. They had better benefits. Now I'm pretty confident in saying that we probably have one of the best packages for a security company of our size for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think my wife and I are gonna be looking into it because I'm on her insurance because of her job, but we
assume she gets better benefits than we do.
I think she still does, but we're going to take a look at it
Okay.
and see. So it's just it doesn't hurt to look. Email HR if you have questions about that stuff. Don't call; they're not here at the office. It's just easier.
Yeah,
to
don't
email
call
them. Unless
today.
it's an emergency, like hey, you broke your arm, and you're like, hey, I need to get a doctor's note sent in. Obviously, call lieutenants first and stuff like that. You guys know the drill pretty well. But if you're new to Titan, a good way to get a quicker response from HR is just to email them. They're monitoring that all the time. So,
Gary, to answer your question, what about CAP? Everything on that is still moving forward. When it comes to the CAP program, remember
have we talked about that?
we gave an update on it. I do know that I think there was a little bit of confusion because HR got a few emails that said, "Hey, I want to apply to the CAP program." They've responded telling everyone to reach out to the lieutenants and get a lieutenant backing them.
Yeah.
So it's one
We
thing that
gotta
we want to make
endorse
sure
you.
that we made clear on that real quick since Gary brought that up. When it comes to the CAP program, you have to have a lieutenant endorsement before you email HR because they're going to email us and say, "Hey, is anybody endorsing this officer?" So make sure you talk to the lieutenants first. Talk to
that's right.
a lieutenant, one of the lieutenants, one that you might deal with more than the others, and say, "Hey, I'd like to apply to the CAP program. Will you endorse me?" And then if we feel that you might need some work in that area, we'll bring it up to you and let you know what's going on with that. If we feel that you'd be a good candidate for it, we'll say, "Hey, let them know that we give you our endorsement," and then they'll verify.
Because they're gonna HR will kick it to us and just say, "Hey, Tom Smith said that you, Lieutenant McFarland, would endorse this person." But I don't even know who that is. Never heard of him. But so don't do that. But if it's someone I know and I like, and I think, like he said, I think they'd be a good fit. But absolutely, I 100% back that candidate. And so then they'll get you through the process. I don't know why I didn't think we talked about it. It was like a whole episode.
We did. Yeah, it was an entire episode.
Dedicated. Yeah. So yeah, benefits. Make sure you guys are taking advantage of that. And again, questions go to HR. Lieutenants are not going to be able to answer anything other than talk to HR. Just because, for one, we don't know enough, and for two, it's HR's field. They're the ones that handle
expertise.
they handle that sensitive information because it has to do with finances and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
And then obviously it'll be different depending on how many dependents you have and stuff like that. And again, that's about the extent of my knowledge of it. Is if you're single or married or have kids, it changes. That's
Yeah.
all I know. I don't know
I
whether
can
it's
tell you,
better or worse to
I
have
can tell you,
kids.
being a single male with our current insurance versus I've signing up for the new one. It is about $35 cheaper for a single independent person, non-married, no kids. About $35 cheaper now than it was. Excuse me. So
Yeah.
I'm saving probably $70 or $75 a month on that.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
Uh,
And like I said,
Vision dental's a little bit cheaper, comes with a little bit better coverage. The coverage overall, though, for when it comes to with that stuff is like worlds better.
yeah,
From what I have
they
now to what I'm getting
right.
is tons better. There's a little bit more on the deductible side on a couple of the areas, but the new insurance, because I think it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. I'm not 100% sure.
It's Aetna.
Is it Aetna?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I
It
got that cool
covers.
squishy ball.
Okay. Oh, is that where that's from?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it covers way more um, hospitals, ERs,
Yeah.
Walgreens and stuff is
You're
now covered with your prescriptions and stuff.
Yep.
The coverage of the new stuff is just 10 to 15 times better than what it was, and then the general coverage of the insurance covers more as well, which is nice.
Yeah, you're essentially paying less a month, and I think some deductibles got adjusted. I don't know which ones went up, which ones went down. Again, that's the HR part. But you're paying less a month, and you're getting more benefits as far as what they cover is, dental, vision, health, life. I don't know, what it is, but there's more of them.
Yeah.
And so just keep that in mind, especially you guys are making a career out of it here, like us. That's take advantage of those things. The company is, again, Kyle put a lot of work,
He put
time,
a
and
ton
effort
of effort into
to
this.
making sure we were very aggressive on getting you guys really good benefits for the best bang for your buck.
Yeah.
So
He did
take advantage of it.
He did a phenomenal job with
He
it.
did a phenomenal job.
Phenomenal job.
He does a great job on everything, not just because he's my boss's boss, my boss, but no, he's come from other companies, and so he knows his way around the
I was
security
gonna say
world.
what it is he knows his way around what he when it comes to stuff like that, he knows his way around that
Yeah,
stuff.
we're glad he's on our team.
Extremely happy he's on our team.
Yeah.
He's been a great addition to our team.
He's definitely a champion for us lieutenants too. So there's some new structure changes that are coming that hopefully kick us out in the field more. So we'll see you guys more. I know.
We could make it public too.
What's that?
Our new lieutenant.
Oh yeah.
So I know I've said on the podcast before that I have taken a promotion or a sidestep promotion. I don't really know. I think it's a promotion personally to scheduling.
So you get more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a promotion money. Title doesn't matter at that point. You call me whatever you want to call me as long as you pay me that number right there.
So I'm taking that position into our scheduling manager, and then we have now promoted a new junior lieutenant, and it is Brendan Shaughnessy. He is one of our patrol guys. He has been doing a great job at helping us out in times when we've been short, and he really stepped up.
A perfect example, and I won't go into details because this is confidential stuff, but perfect example of someone that was pretty on par with some other candidates as far as, ability, but that guy's got the biggest heart that has a big old Titan T stamped on it, and that was a deciding factor.
Yeah.
When we went to the Knights of the Round Table and said, hey, this guy, however many candidates we had, and this guy's really good at this guy's good at this, and we had a very, very hard fought match between about 3 or 4 guys.
I couldn't believe, and I told this to everybody who was in the running and everybody we talked to. I was expecting 2 or 3 people to blow everybody else out of the water, and everybody did so well that I actually got angry because it made the decision hard.
Exactly, and it's a good problem to
I
have.
was so upset that I was like, by the end of all the interviews, I was like, this is bull. Like, this is supposed to be easy, and like everybody made it. Every decision that was made, every answer that was given, every question that was asked was beyond perfect. I mean, it was the great responses, great thought processes, and by the end of it, we got all the interviews done. I looked at Lieutenant Ortiz and I went, "This is bullshit."
Yeah.
Like, this was supposed to be like a somewhat easy decision, and this is probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to come down to.
Right. I was at a client meeting, and so when I got back, I asked Coop, first thing I asked, how'd it go? And he looked at me, he goes, I'm pissed. I go, what? What happened? Is that bad? And he goes, no, they're all like phenomenal. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Like everybody was great.
It's a good problem to have. It really is. But congratulations, Irish. That's what I call him, Shaughnessy. It's nice to have another Irish guy.
400 kids. He goes, woo, go Irish. So for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, or for those of you, when you guys talk to him on the phone and he answers the phone, congratulate him.
Yep.
Let him know that
Well deserved.
that we're welcoming into the family as a lieutenant, and just congratulations for him. And then we've got a couple of patrol corporals that got promoted as well. They'll be starting their first shift. I'm going to get with Lieutenant Ortiz before I say their names out there
Sure.
just to make sure.
Yep.
But we got a couple of those that were promoted and moving into their positions, and then we've got some more structure changes that are coming in soon.
Well, and
So
for all you guys out there that are looking to move up, every time you hear about promotions, that means somebody
so
needs
many
to
spots opened
backfill.
up.
Yeah, somebody needs to backfill those positions. So we got some patrol spots open. Those of you that write really good reports, don't think that doesn't go unnoticed. Those are usually,
Reports are a
honestly,
huge thing.
yeah, it's the first thing I look for. I don't look for the guy that can, do 500 push-ups and run up 12 stories and, save an old lady from a fire in case the, FD's not there. The cool story patrol stuff. I look at reports first because you are going to write hundreds of reports a month.
Well, and see, and it goes a little bit beyond that. When you've got good reports, that means you've got good communication.
Correct.
And in what we do, 90% of what we do is
Yeah.
communication. And if you have excellent communication, that means that you're going to talk well to the clients. You're going to talk well to us,
Yep.
our bosses.
Well, and just dealing with civilians on a
Yeah,
day-to-day
it makes
basis.
everything easier.
Yeah. Yeah, you have customer service is the most important part of and report writing, which they go hand in hand at that point of patrol. So just because you think you want to drive a cool patrol car and wear an outer vest and think you're going to be handcuffing people left and right, that's not how it works.
No.
Unfortunately, sometimes you do have to do that stuff, but majority of it is property checks and interacting with people that are maybe not having a good day. So
I also do want to say something. I meant to say this on Monday and I didn't, and I apologize. But I want to send a huge shout out to the guys while I was gone. The patrol corporal stepped up.
yeah,
Shaughnessy stepped up, and the lieutenants did an amazing job while I was gone with the schedule. Roman, you did a phenomenal job as well.
yeah. Big
I
shout
told
out to
everybody kind
Roman.
of individually and on emails. I told everybody thank you and good job. But I want to put it out here so everybody who watches the podcast or will watch the podcast knows that normally when I go on vacation, everybody kind of dreads it because I not to toot my own horn or anything, but I play a pretty big role in scheduling.
Yeah.
And so everybody's always like, "Oh no, this is going to be a hard day." And we had, talked about it a little bit on the podcast before. They were expecting to walk into a mountain of just
Well,
of a
and
nightmare. And
it wasn't just a normal week for you to take off. We were
yeah,
down two,
down
three.
an
Well, with you being
instructor
gone,
and
that's three instructors, and then unfortunately, one of our patrol officers had a family emergency that works during the day. So, and I had to teach class.
yeah, and
So,
so
while handle client, run the day-to-day operations, and
everybody that was involved that
we
was
were
still here
very,
stepped up.
we were very short-staffed. And again, like we said, we're not going to force him. I just cut my finger. We're not going to force him to. I don't know how that happened.
Don't bleed on my floor.
Hey, it's my floor too. But we actually got to the end of the week, and I was going to call my boss, and I had cracked an adult beer beverage, and it's kind of like, huh, we made it. And honestly, not to say that your
No, you're good.
your absence was unnoticed, but we actually got through pretty well.
It was
So
it was set.
with
I
the
did.
adversity we were up against,
Yeah, I
it
did a
went
lot
pretty
to
well.
try and knock out enough where you guys didn't have to worry about it. And
Yeah,
just
and
with
to your credit, you did a lot of
Roman and Shaughnessy and Patton, who's our day shift patrol corporal, the way that they stepped up during the day to kind of get everything set up and keep everything moving, they did a great job and knocked it out of the park. And then everybody who was at the on sites who did their jobs to the best of their abilities, and just that week went in my opinion went so well that I was very happy when I came back and nothing was on fire
yeah, he was
and everything was
refreshed,
handled
and
well.
yeah,
And it was
refreshed
just
for the holidays.
I just wanted to say thank you again. I know I said a little bit one before, but I wanted to say thank you to everybody who was doing all that and stepped up
Well,
and
and
did all
I'm
the good
I'm going to
work.
give an extra shout out to Corporal Patton. He's a guy that's like me, loves being in the field, and is great in front of clients, customers, and people. And he was glued to a desk for that whole week, and he hated every single second of it. But what we love about him is he's mission driven, and if the mission needs to be accomplished, he's willing to do whatever it takes. And that's exactly why he's in the position he's in. Because even if it's something you don't like to do, for me, scheduling and dealing with stuff at the
You good?
office. Yeah, sorry. I'm like dying over here. My finger's cut and I got a really like dry eye. It's really itchy. It's like it's something I'm allergic to. But yeah, so
You're rubbing his hand, rubbing his
so I'm
face.
just waiting for the blood to scab up so it doesn't drip. But so thank you, Pat. I know you're probably watching. We
Yes.
we couldn't have done it without you. And again, it's not something you enjoy doing, but you stepped up and you did a really good job. And you know what? You're actually kind of good at it. And with that being said, it's probably gonna be something you're gonna do more often now. So. But no, he did really good. So
But
if
no,
you guys see Corporal Patton, tell him big thanks.
so again, congratulations to our new lieutenant, junior lieutenant, Brendan Shaughnessy. Good job. Congratulations. And then, like I said, more structure changes to come in soon. So just keep that in mind, guys, for everyone that is interested in the cap, reach out to a lieutenant, get an endorsement, or find out where you can get some improvement to get that endorsement,
Yep.
get into the program. And then
And
when
you
that
don't
stuff comes open,
Yeah.
you're viable for an
You don't
interview and everything and to get to it.
Yeah, you don't have to be here that long either. I won't
No,
say
no, 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 no.
specifics, but someone new that is a new junior lieutenant, I think has been here like 6, 7 months.
Yeah.
And so we
So
have an eye for talent.
and see, here's the thing: is like everybody always, well, you got to be here for 90 days and whatever the case may be. That's not always the case. I've been here 9.5 years now. I don't know, just just over 9 years. And Lieutenant McFarland made lieutenant before I did technically, and there's
I did, didn't I?
excuse me, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ooh, I'm gonna rub that in your face from now on. You should have told me that.
That's fine. You knew it before I did.
Yeah, I
But
was or am this most senior
when the
lieutenant.
first lieutenant positions came out, they weren't what they are now, and I wouldn't have survived doing that position. And so me being a lieutenant at the time would have been a bad idea. Versus now, it's worked out. What are you giggling
Patton
about?
just texted me.
Of course
I
he did.
can't say it on air, but it's funny.
No, bad Patton. But and so the roles change over time and stuff like that. And but you don't have to be here. My first lieutenant was here less time than I was. And because we're not driven by, it's not a time thing. You don't earn
No.
your spot because you've been here 6 years, 7 years,
Yeah.
a decade. That doesn't matter. What matters is can you do the job? Do you have the heart behind it? Are you cognitive of what's going on around you?
Right.
Things like that. Time doesn't play an aspect in it.
Majority of it's effort. It really
Yeah.
is. Once you've been here long enough to kind of know our policy, our philosophy, the way I always joke with our bosses is obviously a lot of people, some people do, some people don't know how like hot dogs and sausage is made. It's not a very sexy or beautiful thing that happens. It's very gross, and if some of you see it, you'll probably never want to have a hot dog again. So growing up around hog farms and stuff, I knew at an early age that it was a ugly creature of a process, and so I joke all the time. Is sometimes we got a couple fires going, and we keep that from the bosses because that's what our job is.
That's the
Is
entire
to
part of
fix
our job.
problems. Yeah, we're fixers, and so I joke about. I say, they'll come down and see us run around answering 2 different phones at once, right? Typing an email and doing whatever, coordinating something, and they're like, "Holy shit!" And it's just like, so this is what we pay them for. Okay, all right, I feel a bit better signing those checks now, but
I remember
but I always tell them, I say, sometimes you just don't just enjoy the hot dog at the ballpark. Don't
ask
think
questions.
about don't ask questions. Don't enjoy the taste. But once you see what that's made with, you're not gonna probably like it. And so
I think
once you learn our process,
yeah.
and we know that you have the work ethic, and will put in the effort, there's really no position that you can't be qualified for at that point. That's the majority of it. If you can get your uniform on correctly and get to work on time, and you have a positive attitude when you're dealing with bad stuff all the time, you'll do well if you get in front of the right people.
Yeah. So other than that, I think that was really kind of it,
I
guys.
cut you off there. You're going to say something.
I was gonna say, I remember the first time I saw I had one of my bosses come down, and they were trying to talk to me, and I had all three or four phones, and my personal went off,
Create a microwave.
my lieutenant phone went off, and then the lieutenant phone went off, and I'm on the phone on the desk phone behind me already, and I stopped.
And now we got Teams too.
And Teams.
We get Teams calls all the time while I'm on 2 phones.
So I'm sitting here. I just like kind of closed my eyes. I took a breath in. I breathed out, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm gonna have to call you back. Thanks for the help. And I hung up.
Hold, please.
And I turn around.
Hold, please.
I looked at the phones. I was like, okay. And I look up and I see him standing there, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Hold, please." Lieutenant Coop, please hold. And I put him on mute. And Lieutenant Coop, please hold. And I looked at, what's up? And he goes, okay. You look a little busy. I was like, yeah, a little bit. It's okay. But no, I mean, other than that, guys, that's all we really had. We just wanted to check in with after the day after Thanksgiving and say hey.
Got a nice weekend coming up. Some of you got a long weekend. Some of you got like a long week. Our school officers they I forget that I'm talking into a microphone.
You got to be closer.
Man of Constant Sorrow. I heard you can sing into that can. Great movie. You should watch it. It's a good fall movie for me. I don't know why, but
It's a good movie. Anyway.
Yeah. Soggy Bottom Boys. Sorry. I'm such squirrel. It's not even funny. But that's why I'm the talent. I keep people laughing, hopefully. Or at
least me.
At my expense, maybe. And I'm perfectly fine with that. But the guys that had a nice break from school and stuff, hopefully you guys are rested up. You guys deserve that daily grind of dealing with children 5 days a week.
Oh, man.
And extracurricular activities as far as like baseball or basketball or volleyball or gymnasium type sports, staying after, working long hours. We appreciate you guys. Not that we don't appreciate everybody, but hopefully you guys got a nice big break and you got the weekend coming up. Or if you're working and took advantage of that holiday pay, Black Friday, people be careful, especially our patrol guys. Be careful out there.
That's going on right now.
Agitation can be heightened. I think that's a word.
Heightened.
When
Heightened?
Yeah, whatever.
Heightened.
Okay. Hyphen.
No one let him live that down.
Heightened. When they go and trample a bunch of people to get their 800-inch, $200 TV, which I was trying to take advantage of too, but I didn't. I weaseled my way of finding out one of my Christmas presents is a new TV.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was like, go buy that Black Friday TV. It's super cheap. And she's like, no, I got you one for Christmas. Damn it. And I was like, yes. I'm double happy. It's bigger and it's cooler. But so yeah, just be careful out there if you're out shopping. Hopefully most people are taking time off spending with their families. That's what I'm going to be doing, going out in God's country, out and away from the city. It's good just to refresh every once in a while. So I took advantage of having like kind of a 3-day weekend. Well, 4 days.
Even though I dragged him out here.
Yep. It's because I love you guys too. We like doing this, and if I don't put in the effort on my days off, it's not just when it's convenient for me. We try to keep this as current and as I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I'm really losing it at the end of this podcast today. Try to keep it congruent.
There you go, congruent. That's a good one.
So it's consistent. So every, we're a little early today because I had to make some adjustments, but try to be there at 2. I know it's important to you guys, and it helps, feel like we're connected. Okay, so we appreciate it, and again, I don't think I have anything else.
So on that, I think we're gonna let you guys go. We appreciate it. You guys enjoy your weekend. We will see you on the podcast on Monday next week. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Happy Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I thank everybody for everything you guys did last week, this week, and what you're going to do next week and continuing forward. So,
and then we got Christmas,
so much.
Holidays.
Don't start with me.
That's why I celebrate early. I can do it for a lot longer. So, but no, thanks again, guys. Be careful.
We appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there, and we will see you guys on Monday.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.